Okay, so did a long video, creeping up on a half an hour long. This one I'm trying to keep short. It's just a relevance to the conversation of each meetings because the fact is that Jeff over at CSS sent out an email, a mass email to all his dealers. And yes, so if there's any questions or any doubts about that at this point, I like to not say I am a certain thing, assume a certain thing, unless somebody's officially said it. Like I was a dealer for Nippon Racing for a long ass time before Jesse himself said it. And because I mentioned on Instagram, it's like, hey, look, guys, there's people out there questioning me in Facebook groups and like, am I a legit seller or whatnot? This is why I say that it's super, helpful for me, for everybody who buys from me, which is quite a bit. Quite a bit of you guys shop VHP engines that just, make a post on your Instagram. Hey, look, this is where I got my shit. So that way people start seeing it and normalize me to come to shop with. I'm a very public person. I've never fucked anybody over on a deal. I've only ever had a couple of controversial deals, and even then, that shit ain't on me. And most of those times they get squared away. Um, so I've had a pretty good track record for my existence of VH Business, which is about 6 or 7 years, and my hardcore business years has been the last 2 years. We're going into three. All right. So I am a dealer for a cylinder support system. Even though I don't frequently keep all this shit here, I'm gonna make a video eventually about cylinder support system, like a shopper's guide, what things to consider and how to go about it, and what benefits you have buying through me. Just a quick rundown for that. If you haven't, if you A lot of people are really hesitant when it comes to shipping engine blocks, right? You want to buy a cylinder support system block, but you don't want to go through the hassle of trying to find a block, tear a block down, and send it out in the mail. You're not sure about that. I can do all that. If I don't have a block on hand for you, I have a supplier that gives me blocks. I don't even have to go anywhere anymore. Now it costs me a little bit more money to do it like that, but I chalk up that loss as a convenience cost, so you don't pay any extra cost in your core. Now, and also another thing is too, another benefit, a big benefit from going through me, even though I don't have the blocks on hand right as of now, but will in the future, is the fact that because I'm a dealer, I get a little bit more preference on my time, like where I come in the pecking order for my blocks to get done. So if you are a regular person sending in, I've heard people tell me that they've been quoted for a 2 month turnaround time for their block. When I send the blocks in, it's a 3 to 4 week turnaround, and it always has been, except for one time when there was a delay on pistons coming in. So if you want to get a block done, you don't want the hassle of having to deal with it yourself, and you want the quickest turnaround time as possible, I'm your guy to go to for that. All right, now, I say this to mention this and bring this up in email because cylinder support system is now doing what most people are doing, and they are increasing their cost. They are increasing the cost for the cylinder support system itself, and they are increasing their machine shop costs. Now, I haven't gone over it in detail because it's a lot of information, but just doing a quick glance at some things, it looks like it's like a $25 increase here and there for things. I think maybe a $50 increase for cylinder support system itself. So noticeable enough to I need to address it. The prices are going to go up, but not so noticeable that I think it really makes a difference. It's not going to really impact my business model at all, because doing the machine shop through cylinder support system is so much easier for me because the turnaround time is much faster. The local shops here, their turnaround time is atrocious, and they're expensive. Anything that you're doing here, you're spending $500+ on for just for the same services that they provide for, like, they used to be $350. Now it still comes close to the $500 mark that I would pay locally, because I still have to account for shipping to them and shipping to me. But if it's going to cost very similar to what's local, but the turnaround time is 3 to 4 weeks, then of course I'm going to use them still. Plus, anytime I can bring business to people who do business with me is the way I prefer to go. I'm very loyal to the people who have shown me fucking love. All right. Which is why I tell you guys too that, if you're doing builds through me, or you're doing frequent shopping through me, if you're a return customer, I tend to take that into consideration. Now, if you're somebody who I've already recommended parts to, or recommended something, and you're still it seems like you're questioning me still on what I'm recommending, I don't have patience for that. I'm not gonna answer, like, oh, 1+1 is 2, right? Yes. Oh, 1+2 is 3, right? Yes. 1+3 is 4, right? Yes. I can't do step by step. If you take the answer I'm giving you and trust that that's good, or go somewhere else and ask somebody else, or use the YouTube channel that I've given out all kinds of information and search there. It gets to a point where I don't care how good of a customer you are, there's just certain things I'm not willing to do. All right, guys. So again, prices are going to go up. My website right now currently has blocks listed as no machine work. I used to be like, hey, if you want to do a stock bore rebuild, that's fine. Now, the reason why I've been saying for a long time that was eventually going to go away, and then I said a couple weeks ago that is gone. Like I don't count that as the thing anymore. Now, machine shop costs are going to be factored in automatically. You're going to get a fresh boring hone. You're going to get decked. You're going to get cleaned properly. It saves me a lot of labor time and also saves me headache, because if I'm going to be getting my cores from another state that are going to come here to me, and then I get it and it's like, oh, well, I need to do machine work on this. I can't just fucking keep ordering blocks till I get one that's healthy to go. And, and I don't want to keep spending time, like, oh, this is not good, so I have to get it corrected. So to just knock all that doubt out of the park, it just goes straight to the machine shop to get this done, and then I get it here fresh and ready to go. So again, and the last thing I want to talk on is, I mentioned this the other day about single cams. Like again, like one of the shop costs for cylinder support system is $250 for notching. Of course, I don't think they have a CNC machine. I think they do what I do. I think they do what I do, and they notch case by case, because they said they only do block notching for blocks that they're assembling. So I mean, I guess that they're checking and making their measurements and then cutting and do like I do. Except for I think they probably have machines to help with that, even if it's not CNC, and I have to do it by hand. All right, now $250 fucking dollars, right? And I think that's fair, because it's a lot of work. You can see on this single cam assembly how long it's taking me, and that's mainly because of that. Because I have to cut, put the rotating assembly in there, check. Oh, it hits. Cut again. Put the rotating assembly in there. And I have to clean between each time. I still got to clean the majority of the metal out. I can't just leave it in there, throw the pistons and rods and shit in there, and run it. Now, I don't use new bearings when I'm doing those tests. I use the old bearings. But still, you still don't want that fucking junk building up on the piston skirts or whatnot. Anything. So it's a lot of labor that goes involved in it. Now, I used to charge, I believe, $150 to notch blocks. But then I was like, because I can't. This is taking way too much time, and it's a whole bunch of extra labor. I can't do this. I got to charge extra money. But then nobody's buying single cams, so I stopped doing it. I was like, well, I'll just take the L, and I'll just do the same price to do for everything, and I just won't charge anybody for the notching. Well, recently, I've come to the epiphany that I can only do so many engine builds at a time anyway. And the money I'm making and the time it takes, for instance, the single cam getting done, we're at the end of February. I think it was like November that this whole ball started rolling to get this build in. By the time I got it back from the machine shop towards the end of December, so I have January and February. So I've had it for 2 months, slowly doing things at it. And there was also some other things that made that job turnaround time a lot longer. But whatever. Anyway, I've come to the realization that I can't do blocks. That I can't really make enough money off blocks. I could do I can't do too many in a month, and I only make like maybe $600-700 off of doing all these bottom ends. So like I'm not going to prioritize it anymore, right? So the priority is start selling parts, and I'm going to be, as soon as the S2000 is done, I'm making a big push to start to go make VHP engines an actual local business. Going to be stocking up on oil pumps. I'm going to be porting. I'm going to be buying new oil pumps, and maybe refurbished in the case of some of these K20 Type S pumps. I'll be buying K20 Type S pumps that I want to have at least 3 on the shelf that are ported and ready to go. Maybe have some that are already modified to fit on the K24. I want to have pistons that are available off the shelf. I want to have rods. There's a whole bunch of shit, Now, eventually, too, I'm probably going to start doing, stacking up on VTech Killer rocker arms, stacking up on VTech Killer heads that are ready to go. And then eventually, hopefully, I start making money locally. Then I can start having blocks that are assembled and ready to go on the side, a couple of them. But the priority is just engine parts in general, right? So because that's my priority, and because I know that's how I'm going to make money, I don't care if you guys don't come to me to build engine blocks anymore. Now, I still enjoy it, so I still want people to come, send me blocks my way. And yes, I do still appreciate the money, but I know that there's only so many I can do at one time. So if I am going to start charging for the notching, and then you guys just don't want to come to me for single cams because it's too expensive, then that's fine. Then I guess I won't be building any single cams, and it doesn't bother me. Now, if I can just do K-series blocks, I'm fine with that. I would say B, but Bs are just so fucking hard to come by nowadays that it's like I get to the point where I think in a year or two I'm not going to see them anymore. It's going to be a really rare thing. That single cam I just put together is going to be the highest capable horsepower I've ever done. It's the first one I've ever done with forged pistons, and it's CSS. That's the block's good for like 700 fucking horsepower. So maybe that in itself will, the getting good results come back, and then that will feed into me building more single cams. I don't know, but it's just that I'm not gonna short, just like my motto was a couple years ago when I took an L on the business was, I'm not gonna sell myself short anymore just to get customers. I'm gonna charge what I think is fair, no matter what. And if people don't come to me because my prices are too high and I'm too unknown, then that is okay. At the end of the day, I'm a parts dealer. Like, I am a legit parts dealer, and I think it's time that I start taking advantage of that on a local level. I have I have the support from Cylinder Support System. I have the support from Nippon Racing. Between those two guys, there's literally nothing in the parts world that I can't get my hands on at a very good, at a wholesale dealer price. So that way I can actually be competitive and sell things at the retail price on the market. So, yes, the long block for the F-22 is staged by the front door. I'm going to need somebody to come give me some help to load it into the car, and I can take it and drop it off. And then, once the labor has been paid for the reinstallation of that, I still need to buy injectors and I still need to get a tune. But I will at that point consider the goddamn car almost completely finished, and then I'm going to start investing in little things. But because I haven't done it yet, I have to keep money in my PayPal, and I want to keep a certain range so that way, just in case any extra expenses come up, I've got it covered and I'm not coming out of my pocket for it. So that's the only reason why I haven't already started buying parts, because I already have an idea what I want to do. I want to have a couple of VTEC killer heads, on the side ready to go. I want to have a couple of Type S pumps. These are things that cost low dollar for me, but I can sell for a decent uptick and still be competitively cheap, for you guys to buy and invest in. But it's gonna, it won't cost me so much to get into it where I can actually make profit. And then once we start making profit, then I can start making more profit, and then look for a retail location to open. And then hopefully hopefully this whole shit about working for somebody doesn't need to be more than another year or so. That's the idea. And my wife works in the embroidery business, and she also used to work for a yachting company. And we're talking about people who are fucking millionaires, multimillionaires. And she's got 6 different companies that have gone to the company she currently works for specifically for her. So I'm also going to be looking into those machines hopefully in the next year or so. And we can have VH Means retail space plus the embroidery place. And then I can start making my own fucking merch, screen printing and shit like that. So that way we can do all of VH Means merchandise in-house, and that can work for that too. So hopefully, I've been saying to myself for years, by the time I'm 40, I'm 100% self-employed and I won't need to work for anybody anymore, which is, again, why I was talking about in that last video that it's so important for me to make as much money as I can, because the more money I make right now at my job is more money that I can potentially put towards investing into VHP engines. All right, guys, so that's it. I know that I made 2 really long videos for shit that's not really car stuff, so I don't know how many people you actually watch, but I just thought that I would put it out there for the handful of you guys that really do care. And I appreciate you watching. For those of you guys who make it to the end of these videos, I do appreciate it. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.